Shut up and sit down.
Greetings! Welcome to Epic Fail, episode 193. That's right, 193 times we have put on this fail of a whatever podcast attempt. With me this week is not Galv, is not anyone else that has been on here. I don't know his name. I was muted for the pre-show there at the end, trying to Google the name of the person. He sings that song and I can't remember it, so I'll just let him introduce himself. Greetings! Who are you supposed to be?
I am Lord Farquaad from Shrek. Okay, I have no songs yet. I mean, I can sing. I can sing if you want me to, but I don't think you want me to. I'm pulling a blank on who you mean for the singer. I know who you mean.
Rick James was who I was thinking.
I'm Rick James.
I spent the entire time we were both muted trying to okay, it's Rick something. Rick Perry? No, that's an old white guy. And then while you're talking, I remember the name of the song. And I was like, okay, look it up by song. I look it up, and all of a sudden, boom, Rick James. That's who I was thinking of. So we have white Rick James with us today.
Full show.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk like that because I would get myself in so much trouble.
Me too. I just reloaded Twitch chat so that way Twitch chat can't see.
Yeah. Well, how have you been? It's been a week.
It's been a good week. It's been a week where I had to help with different kids, so doing kids programming and like kids for flossing and stuff like that. So basically telling kids sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, and multiple times sit down. And I have a great appreciation for anybody who does early childhood education. I think there's somebody in the chat room who does early childhood education, and I admire you so much. You know who you are. I admire you.
Well, I thank you for that, but honestly, I just use a lot of duct tape.
Oh, you don't want to say that. Do you remember the person on Facebook who is duct taping their kid, putting on Facebook video, talking about it, and like talking about like the kid was literally on video on Facebook, and they didn't think that they were ever going to find him. Yeah, the internet speaks words.
Yeah, I mean, I joke about it. I don't know that I ever would actually use an excessive amount of duct tape. The necessary amount, maybe, but maybe I don't know about excessive.
I mean, I'd be careful if we put into a sticky situation.
Well, I mean, you know what they say: silence is golden, but duct tape is silver.
I have never heard that. Oh, that is great. So in WoW, I didn't do a lot other than working on the two sides of every story. So I am getting that with I'm now one of 4 achievements for Tides of Vengeance. And then I will get that sparkly horse. No,
Yay.
The wolf. The horde will get the horse. And the alliance will get the wolf. And you know, I was talking with somebody. I was asking if there were anybody who was on the horde working on two sides for every story. And you know what they all said about wanting that horse? They said, nay.
I'm not giving you the satisfaction of a facepalm.
Oh man, come on, dude.
I might turn around, grab a pillow, put it over my face, and punch myself in the face, but I'm not going to give you a facepalm.
Okay. So what have you been up to this week?
Oh, good lord. Work. Much like last week, tons of work. I got to stay late every single day that I was there, which, yay, more money.
Yeah.
But that also means game time limited. So in terms of WoW and I didn't even load Overwatch this week. I just didn't have the time. In terms of WoW, I logged in 3 times this week. Normally I log in almost every day or every day, if only to clear out emissaries. I have gotten to the point in terms of how busy I am where it's becoming, oh, I need to log in today. I need to make the time to log in because all 3 of them are there and I don't want one to expire. Like after the show, I have to log in because I've
Yeah.
got 3 days worth of build up on 3
Yikes.
characters, so I gotta do those. I mean, I don't need the Azerite power, but I don't know what the rewards are. So if they're gold or a piece of gear, that's something I can turn into something else.
Yeah.
So I need to do that. And if it's Azerite, well, worst case is it's rep for the Paragon, so I can, not get them out again.
Yeah. I realized I'm almost my first Paragon, and I need to go back and work on that one because I kept forgetting about the Paragons and BFA.
Yeah. Other than that, I played a little bit of the City of Heroes that I've been playing again.
Oh, how is that?
I've always liked the game because you literally can customize your hero to be anybody. I
Yeah.
ran into Thor late last night. He was dressed up like comic book Thor. His name was Mighty Thor, and you could. I mean, they frown on copyright infringement, but they don't really do much about it.
Yeah. Well, and if it was still the live City Heroes, that would have been
Yeah.
because I remember for a while Marvel was trying to sue City of Heroes because of all that.
That was complicated, but yeah, that was part of it. Marvel honestly didn't care. They were like, "Yay, people wanted to be our superheroes that much," but they needed to protect it because of trying to sell to Disney.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Because it's if you don't show that you try to stop your trademark, then it's harder to
yeah.
enforce it.
That being said, back then I did have a Deadpool. I did have a Silver Surfer. I did have a few other. Not Deadpool was the biggest name out of all of them because I didn't want to go too obvious. But I did have a couple blatant ripoffs. I remember seeing Superman. The letter S was there. You couldn't do the full logo of S, but you could put the letter S there to make it. Yeah, it's Superman. Batman, Skeletor. I mean, you name it, you can make it. So, all kinds of fun. Uh-oh. That's gonna... I hear him, I think. Alright. We're having some tech issues.
There we go. I rejoined the call. It was roboting badly, but
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, Broken Gnome. He got punted too hard.
yes, all those puns.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite goofball characters, I made a 6-foot tall guy in a carrot costume. I named him Beta Carotene because I could. But I think, other than my tank character, because it was so popular because she couldn't die, but she was also a 5'3" Catholic schoolgirl. That might have been part of it too. Um, one of my favorite characters that I ever made in that game, and then other people's favorite characters, was a guy that I named Captain Random, who his outfit never matched. He'd have like a pink fedora and like a blue shirt. I mean, just I literally went to every slot and just hit random on every single thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and I gave him the goofiest dance. It was just it. Yeah, it was entertaining to say the least. People always had fun whenever that character got played, and I grouped with people because. And I know this only because people would message me all the time. Your character is insane. I love it.
Now, would you say random things, or were you normal in that?
No. He was like I had macros that I changed weekly with
No.
random things. Like things were so much easier when I was raised in the woods by the family of squirrels.
Wow, you and I are so alike in so many ways. It's scary.
Like I just that was the tamest of the random. Like I was like just completely left field. Like you'd go up and fight like this big troll looking thing. I'm like kitty and go hug him.
Oh,
Yeah, like I literally played the character to be completely insane.
nice.
And I'm almost to the point on my main. It's a blaster. It's a mage wizard type character. I'm almost to the level that I have my big nuke that I was telling you about, the server breaker.
Yeah.
I've almost got the levels to get that. I'm almost there, so that's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna try to break the server again because it's not by an actual game company now. It's people running it. I can just get removed.
Yeah. And they'll be like, you're gone.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna try to break any servers. If it happens, well, I'll just apologize to anyone with GM in their name because you see them running around every now and then. But yeah,
Did I ever tell you I made a blaster in City of Heroes? And this was as a teen. I didn't know what the word meant. I just thought he's a fire blaster. He was Flaming Mike. He was all in the spandex. I learned what the connotation of flaming means. I get it now.
yeah, I ran into Golden Dancer. I think it's someone I ran into earlier, and he had he had a bunch of minions, and they were all named like SFX guy Jerry and stuff like that. And every time he'd pop into a dance, they'd all dance too.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was. There's some characters in there. I've got a dragon character. I got to play some more of these. I've got literally a cowboy dressed in black with a skull for a head.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Is it called Ghost Rider?
well, I mean, I could have done that, but no, I literally named him Skull Cowboy.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, you could do Ghost Rider. You could make the Incredible Hulk. Iron Man is a tricky one just because of like you can get kind of the armor, but not quite. Pretty much any hero you can think of, there is something close.
What you do for Iron Man is you put him in a lab coat and you have him spout, you need proper iron in your diet. I'm Iron Man.
No.
Okay, no.
I was with you up until the quote. Like, if you put him in the lab coat, he could be out of the costume Iron Man.
Yes, exactly.
But
But then, I mean, we all need iron in our diet.
some people more than others. But anyway, we should probably get into the show itself.
Yes. That way it's not an epic fail.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is either way, so. Okay, so preamble to the news. There is nothing Overwatch. There is nothing StarCraft. There is nothing Diablo. There is nothing Hearthstone. If you want anything with those, there are specialized podcasts that will go into those. Honestly, I don't think there's anything new for Diablo or StarCraft. StarCraft has more tournaments going. Overwatch has the Overwatch League going. And other than that, there is not a whole lot of news stuff. In terms of Hearthstone, I don't think there's anything new this week. There might have been like Wing 5 or Wing 4 or whatever, their solo thing went live. I don't know. But since neither of us play it, eventually, hopefully, someone who actually plays Hearthstone will come on and be like, hey, yeah, there's Hearthstone stuff. But until then, it's just what it is.
It so far remains to be seen in the cards.
Yeah. Shaped Magic 8 Ball doesn't look good. Ooh. Alright, notice how I didn't say Heroes. There's actually Heroes news. And while I have not yet loaded it since December, for reasons, there was news. I thought it was noteworthy, so there you go. They extended the current season, thus pushing back the old one because of a couple updates that people have been asking about. Like a visible MMR, which is something that's been requested for years now. Things like, I'm pulling up the page now just to be sure. Visible MMR, the decay system is being adjusted. Less placement matches, presuming you've met the requirement before. There's a quest line for an entire season. And the big one, outside of the MMR, is the promotion-demotion games are removed, which means once you get enough wins to get into the next league, you're just in the next league. You don't have to earn your way in.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is because people would type, hey, guys, this is my promotion match. Let's win. And then someone would throw it because they said it was their promotion match and they just wanted to scrim over. I think that was part of it.
And that sucks. I mean, people can be trolls.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I never trolled like that. My troll is always verbal. I don't intentionally lose.
That's good because if you throwing a match, I think is one of the lowest of lows. And yeah, Ali says Draven is sweet and innocent. I'd agree.
Yeah, sweet and innocent. Sure. Yeah. Man. Why do they call it invincible when you can see it?
That statement, we need to analyze that statement.
But we can't see it.
True.
Anyway. So yeah, there's your Heroes news. We got a whole lot of WoW stuff, which is partially why I didn't put a whole lot of effort into the other games, because I saw how much WoW stuff there was, and I was like, that's going to cover the time allotted.
Yeah, and it's insane what there is for WoW stuff. I mean, it is...
And what I have isn't even everything. That's just the highlights.
Yeah. I think we're getting back into a good cycle of news. I think whatever cycle we've been in for a while, and it makes sense. February was when the layoffs happened, so it's taken that long to get the news rolling again.
Well, it's more like it goes with the patch cycle. Like, there's not always a whole lot of stuff until the patch hits, unless you want to cover PTR, and then you kind of have nothing to talk about when the patch hits. So yeah. I cover PTR sparingly, like only the major, like, hey, guys, you might want to know about this ahead of time kind of stuff. But when the patch hits, that's when all this stuff happens. And then there's not a whole lot happening for a while. A whole lot of stuff, not a lot. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And that's why it could be painful being a content creator. I'm amazed at all those creators who were here during Warlords.
I started during Warlords.
Wow, and you're still here. Wow. And
yeah, I'm not saying all of our shows are good, or even most of them. But there's some shows in there, we were looking for crap to find. Like, yeah, there's this thing. There's this chair. You can sit on the chair, but if you lit the campfire first, it teleport you. That was the highlight one week. That was there's a cave. I'd have to go back and look. It's the from Timeless Isle to Nagrand transporter thing.
And Ali, Draven is planning to wear a horse head and play Twister on episode 100.
I'm going to keep my comments to myself on that one, because that could be bad. Anyway, wow stuff. First off, I just added it to the notes. It just happened, or more accurately, just got reported earlier today. So this is out of order for the notes, Fraz. Mythic Kill Jaden was soloed today, last night, this past week.
And that is a Legion boss.
That is the next to last raid.
Wow, that is incredible. How long did it take him?
A long time.
Okay, because anything is easy
Yeah.
as
I mean,
take long enough.
Yeah, I will pull it up again because I don't have it here in front of me. But looking. And the link does not say how long. Thank you, Wellhead, for not putting the time on there. It was a long time. But yeah, from the shot of the kill, he had 5% health left.
Wow.
The player. And he looks fairly geared. So. Now, I know people were soloing Antaurus bosses when Antaurus was out, but we did lose a whole lot of personal power from 110 to 120, and we're now just getting back to that 110 level.
Yeah, and we lost a lot of traits from the artifacts.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of those got built back into our spec, or via talent. But, yeah, we lost a lot of power. So it was easier to solo it then than it is now, but we're finally getting back to the gear level where we can do it.
Yeah.
And even then, only certain classes are going to be able to do it. Like, a Ret Paladin isn't going to be able to solo a lot of these bosses, simply because you take a crit, you're going to lose most of your health, and you can't just heal yourself back up, no problem, and still meet DPS requirements.
And all this stuff is just insane. I mean, just like the theory crafting involved for this.
7,000 word essay the dude gave of, this is how I thought it was possible, this is what I found out, this is what I did, all that other fun stuff. It's like, I love seeing this stuff. Sadly, due to the fact that, like I said earlier, I literally got home 20 minutes before show start, and that's when this got reported on. I haven't had a chance to look at it, which is why I wasn't prepared with a link right off the top. So, yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. But you know what? I think that would be an interesting thing. All this is showing that maybe Blizzard needs to squish us in levels.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like height. I was like, but then we wouldn't even be able to see the gnomes.
Oh.
I mean, we're already punting you. Do you really want stepped on too?
No, not really. I mean, unless you are made for walking, and that's what they're going to do. Those boots are going to walk all over me.
I mean, I got gnome in my boots.
And I can't get it off. I got gnome on my boots, and I can't take it off.
Yeah. So, yeah, as Frazley mentioned, Level Squish, not necessarily incoming, but seems to be getting a little more likely because Blizzard sent out a survey to some people, not everyone, not just streamers, not just content creators, not just, it was just randomly sent out to people. I mean, some of the bigger streamers, some of the bigger content creators, I'm sure got it because they,
I didn't get it.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it. We didn't get it here, which whatever. But
now, psychologically, I want to take a devil's advocate on this. The wording is that it's happening. I'm wondering if they're more interested in what would you say if it was happening. And that's why they worded it that way. Not a if it were to happen, what would you say? But they want your initial reaction.
And we just got pretty much that exact question in chat. Thank you, Allie. Honestly, I would need to see what they plan to do after the squish in order to have a valid answer, because in theory a squish would be a good thing. That being said, if you're still not getting, like, in Classic, you're getting, like, ooh, my powers level up every level. I might not be able to buy them right away, but my powers are leveling up because you got to train for your abilities and making them better. And then, you get new stuff pretty much every level. You get a talent point for the talent tree. I'd like to see the talent tree come back, if nothing else. I mean, yeah, it's a little more cookie cutter than what we got, but whatever. Overall, I think it was a better system.
I'm still of the mindset, if I got an email, I like how Other Schools Online does their stuff. You can go to any of the content anywhere. Your character level's up, but you can group with anybody and the content will scale to you. So even if you're in a party, you can be on a different levels with your party members and you can do the stuff. And I liked what they did in 7.3.5 with all of the zones, like you can go from here to here. But I still would love to be like, hey, you roll a tune. You know what? You can go all the way to Legion. BFA, I could still see being the high end because that is the bread and butter right now. That's what everybody's looking for. But up to 110, I think it'd be cool to do anything that you want across all zones.
With games like WoW in particular, that's really difficult because there is so much there. Like, and the way they have it set up for the story with the zones, yeah, a lot of it's old now. But going to Legion without first doing something else doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, as much as I hate Warlords, without Warlords we didn't have Legion because that's how we got Gul'dan, which is what triggered the Legion.
But couldn't you technically level just in dungeons and you can bypass all the story?
Yeah, but that's a game mechanic, not a for the story. Your hero is out doing all these things, but you can't force players into that situation where no, you have to do all these story arcs or you cannot move on.
Yeah.
So it's another way to level. So it's a mechanic required by the game that you have to get to level 10 or 15 or whatever to do dungeons. But after that you can do dungeons all the way up. In fact, my prot warrior on Horde side did that up to Legion. I haven't leveled it yet for this expansion. So that's an in-game thing. That's a player thing, so that they're not forcing you to, okay, do this story, now do this story, now do this story, now do this. That would get old after 15 alts. Like some people have.
Yeah, and some who level irons have done the same quest in Dunmorrow multiple times, saving the Rams multiple times.
Yeah. The other issue is that of scaling. Blizzard has not managed to get world scaling right away. Like, by now, they might, if they started at the beginning of BFA, they might have gotten Legion to scale properly for something like that. Not for 110 levels. But Legion was set up as a... Well, no, Legion was scaled pretty well until they changed it there at the end. So, Warlords and back still have the occasional glitch in the scaling. And then with BFA, its scaling is set a little higher so we don't overpower everything. And I'm like, why can't we overpower things? I don't want to one-shot everything, but if I'm just doing world quests and it's not like the world boss, I should not feel threatened. But, I understand their point of view too. It's a personal opinion.
So are you talking like skills at each of the level range? Because like you can go from 20 to 60 in different areas. So the mobs there require certain skills.
I mean, if you can kite, technically, unless they can stun you or whatever, then you should be fine. But No, I wouldn't say skills. I would think more closer to classic when you level. You always got something, even if it was just that talent point. Whereas with current, you get a talent point at 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, and then 100, and then never again.
Yeah, and that does feel weird. It does feel weird at a certain point to not level up.
I mean, yeah,
And
we're leveling up, but Blizzard has already come out and said, yeah, you got weaker as you leveled up in BFA. And that was
yeah,
you noticed it big time when you hit 116, because that's when your legendary stopped working.
and like even other games like Final Fantasy 14 and ESO, you get better the more you go.
Yeah, normally you do get better. Just the way things scaled for BFA, they got more powerful faster than you did because you weren't getting those skill ups as you went. You were in fact losing them, kind of.
yeah, and it would feel weird to go from this next expansion. Hey, instead of going to 130, oh, you're going to go level 100. I mean, that would feel really weird on this the stat squish. I get that part of what they're trying to do is bring new players in because it is a daunting idea when you get into the game. All of your friends are at the high end; they're at level 120. You've got to work yourself up there. I mean, I remember when I came back to WoW,
Well,
that was
they
daunting.
fixed it. They fixed it.
The boosts?
When you buy the retail game, you get a free boost. So you have a not max level character, but you're only a few levels behind.
But I boosted a paladin when I first came back to Legion, and I felt so lost. I had to go back from one. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's my playstyle. But I had to boost the character, and they did not have the class challenges when I did that. They added that later on after I did my boost.
Yeah. No, I understand that point of view too. That's more like that level boost is more of a hopefully you can pick things up quickly and you're not going to have any idea what's going on, but at least you'll be roughly the same level range kind of
Yeah,
thing. That's just more of a getting you to the current content so you can play with your friends instead of I got to start over and that's 120 levels I got to go through.
yeah.
That's a lot even for someone who has a ton of 110s. I have only leveled 3 of my 110s and I haven't even thought about any of the other ones simply because A, lack of time, and B, I just don't want to. It's like
Yeah,
I've gone through the content. I don't want to do it again and again and again. Like whenever I was looking for that carrot on the stick, the big love rocket, I slogged through max level content over and over and over just to get through it, so I'd have another chance.
and that's where my friend Titan Screed had an idea that if you want to on a tune and an alt, that they give you perks and things like that, but you had to opt into those perks. That way, if you want the characters to be separate, because that is part of the other thing with alt that I find frustrating, because you get an alt and there's all the perks are gone. You have to do every single perk again. But if you could say, I want to go to a book of perks and do these things, that would be easier. I mean, even your writing skill. Imagine if you logged into a character and you instantly have the writing skill. I know there's the chauffeur mount for heirlooms, but wouldn't it be nice if you could be like, you can fly at level 1 if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would personally like that for my low level characters, I don't think flying right away is a good idea. Um, in terms of the book of perks, I do like that idea. It's just, is it? Do you buy it with gold? Do you have to do certain achievements?
Yeah, and you have to have locked it on another character, so you
Oh
have to
yeah,
have had it done it once. You can't come into the game without doing any of that stuff. But it's like the heirlooms where you get enough gold or you buy enough tokens for the heirlooms to unlock those. It would be like that. It would just be perks. Uh, Tor does that. The Old Republic, where you have your family history and lineage.
yeah. I like unlocking rep would be a big one. Because I mean, honestly, the only time you need rep is at the beginning of the expansion, and then if you're doing professions. Because by the time, like at this point, I none of my like my 2 demon hunters which I leveled later, didn't need the items from rep because by the time I leveled them, I could get the other gear faster. It just wasn't needed. Whereas whenever you're originally leveling, I bought almost every piece off the vendors for the rep because I was so low that I was like, I if I don't have this, I can't get into dungeons. And now it's like, whatever, don't need them.
Yeah.
So rep is only really needed for that first character, unless you're world first guild and you're leveling like 8 tunes week 1. Then yeah, you're gonna need it for a lot of them. But after, we'll say month 1, rep should just unlock. Even if it took like gold, like your main will buy it for random number 50k. Way too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
Your main buys it. Unlocks exalted reputation with this faction. You can make it per faction at that. In which case 50k is way too much. Unlocks exalted for every character on this account.
I would
Ding.
like that. Yeah. And if you don't want that on a character, you could choose to not do it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, no one in their right mind wouldn't do it unless 50k was their number, and in which case people might not because it's like, that's way too high.
Well, because in the things when people ask about like rep and stuff, the devs have said there are people that want each character to be self-contained. I'm not one of those. I want it all on all the characters. Like when they unlocked honor and everything, I was celebrating in the streets because that made it where I could PvP on any character and not feel like I was resetting myself.
Yeah. There are certain things where I think it should be per character. But but things like rep, I understand the thought process behind it because it is technically a new person dealing with that faction. But at the same time, I've done that.
Yeah.
So I'm literally on both sides of the fence at the same time. And anytime I'm on that, I try to err on the side of convenience because it's convenient.
Yeah, me too.
But, it is what it is. We don't know what the level... Getting back to the actual topic at hand, we don't know what the level squish is going to be, if it's going to happen. I would imagine it would... I don't even know where they would go with it, to be honest. Like, how many levels would an expansion get?
Why did we go from 5 levels to 10 levels?
Well, originally it was 10 levels. Like, it went from 0 to 60 to 70 to 80, and then they only did to 85, and then 90, and then 100, 110, 120. So there was only 2 expansions in there that had the 5 levels, and it wasn't because they didn't have the content. It was just they only wanted to do the 5 levels because at the time they were thinking 100 might be it. So they wanted to slow that down a little bit. But, is what it is.
Yeah, 10 for an expansion feels better to me than 5.
I mean, it was the same amount of XP that we needed for the expansion to get, like, time-wise for the 5 versus the 10. They just didn't want to give you the yellow glowy 10 times, just 5 times.
Okay, and I like the ding.
Yeah. But anyway.
Endorphins.
Yeah, moving on. I guess we're just going in reverse order tonight. The Vulpera! The allied race that has not been announced yet. Someone found more evidence that they are actually an allied race.
And it's weird that they're in the code, but they're not even coming out at 8.2.
I have a feeling that they are literally just throwing it out there to see people's reaction. So that when they put it out in either 8.3 or next expansion, like if you pre-order the expansion, you can play them early, kind of like the Demon Hunter. kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
And I could see it the same or the way that we got the allied races, the end of Legion. I could see this being something to hold us over till 9.0 and be like, hey, pre-order the expansion, we're gonna give you the Vulpera.
Yeah. So we don't know when or even technically if, but there's a lot of evidence pointing to, yeah, they actually are an allied race, including the fact that there's a file in the game which lists all the allied races, Void Elf, High Mountain Tauren, etc., and so forth, and Vulpera is listed in that section, and it's not even the last one. Like, it was not just added. One of the other allied races was actually listed after it. So it's in there, like, yeah, it looks like it's going to be an allied race. We just don't know what we have to do it yet.
It looks so cute. And they have a Brewfest mug, so they're adding things to the game.
It's making it look like, it's an allied race overall. But the big question for the Vulpera is, who gets them?
Okay, I'm gonna take this. What if we find out something in 8.2 that moves us to neutral faction? What if they are finally a neutral faction?
So
they can go to both
Panda 2.0?
Yes, exactly. And I know that sounds crazy, and there are interviews where they said that they aren't, but it would make sense because like there's no other pairing in this because we've been getting allied races in pairs. Right now in the code, we're only seeing one race.
My issue, I'm not like, if they're going to do it, they need to do it like that. Honestly, they need to do them as both sides can have access to them. My only issue with it being like Pandas 2.0 is they're already getting a lot of flack with Sylvanas comparisons to Garrosh.
Yeah, and Leibod brings up a good point that the 7th Legion are burning their caravans and putting them in chains. So they already don't like the Alliance.
Or at least they're pushing them to the Horde.
Yeah. No. Okay. I was about to say, what if we got a Horde faction, Horde race on the Alliance?
Yeah, I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, it's very serious theory crafting at that point. And Leibod said that the NPCs are saying that they owe the Horde.
Yeah. I would say that Vulpera should be Alliance just because they're using the Goblin rigs.
But
the Goblin skeletons.
The Goblins are Horde.
Yeah, so that would make the Vulpera go Alliance, but then Horde need probably the snakes. Make them both neutral. Boom, both of them get it. There you go.
Or just something bad to the Vulpera. I'm not saying that. I'm not wishing for this, but I'm saying that they do something bad to the Horde because we were working with the Nightborn in Legion. Both sides were, and the Nightborn went Horde.
Yeah. This is one of those things that we've been debating back and forth on the show for on and off for over a year now, I think.
Yes.
Yes, and I agree with chat room. Get rid of gnomes, add the Vulpera.
But where would we go?
You can turn yourselves into robots. It'll be fine.
Okay. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Okay.
All your base are belong to us.
No. You take it whenever I have to give up my corrupted Ashbringer.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Or is that a Hashbringer? Eh, Ellie? Okay, moving on.
Moving on. from the Vulpera. There are lots of mounts. In fact, there are so many we can't list them all. Excuse me. At last count, there were over 20 new mounts coming via rep, gold, drops, etc., and so forth, from drops from raids, dungeons, all that fun stuff. So there are a lot of mounts. Run over to Wowhead, check out their mount pages. You'll have all kinds of details. There is a new mount from Mechagon, which is, we'll go back to the title screen. You're the lower left-hand side. That is the Mechagon mount. It looks like a robotic cat with rocket lasers and rocket gun on its shoulders. I'm just hoping it runs like a mechanical cat would.
Like the Sony ones, the Sony amiibos.
No, I'm thinking more like Voltron.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for them to do a Voltron-esque mount. Like we got the gem kitties from Panda, which are kind of Voltron-y because you have to have the 4 color ones to get the black one. Or to make the black one. Like that's how you make the black one, is you put the 4 colored ones together and you get the black one that way. But I want a mechanical one that does it. Like you need this mount, which is legs, and then this mount, which is chest, and this mount, which is a head. And you put them all together and you get a freaking huge mount.
That would be cool.
I don't see it happening, but it would be cool. As long as they're not like gold sync mounts.
Yeah. And what did you talk about last episode?
I meant literal gold sync mounts, like the $5 million, $5 million gold long boy. That's a gold sync mount. The 2 million gold spider. That's a gold sync mount. If there are materials involved where you can craft these things, and some of them cost a little bit, okay, fine. Just don't make it, like a 30 million mount. Or but make it so that the pieces can drop, like way back when Jeeves first came out. And the motorcycle, you could get the pieces out of the raid from Ulduar. You never had to buy anything.
Yeah.
Most people did because it was just way faster. But you didn't have to. So you could make it yourself. That's what I would like. But because it would be a robot, it'd be engineering and or blacksmithing.
And I could see them dropping out of Mechagon, and then like you put all these pieces together, and then to defeat whatever big boss comes at 8.3, you need to combine the powers of everybody on their mounts.
Yeah, we don't even need all the mounts at the same time. Like, give us the leg mounts or, the lower body or something as a mount, and you're just like waist down, and then your character sticking out, controlling it. Like, remember Labyrinth with the little goblin in the legs?
Yeah,
that only with your character instead of a little goblin thing. And
that would be so cool.
And then a hovering chest piece. And if you have both, then you can have both of them together, and your character sticks out doing that little thing on the top. And then if you get the headpiece, which would be the last of the 3, honestly, or you could just use Mechagons or the Ulduar. What is it?
Mimiron.
Mimiron. Yeah, Mimiron. Mimiron's
Mimiron.
head. You could just use Mimiron's head. Make that the last piece you need for the big mount.
That'd be cool.
I don't have it yet, but I'd be okay with that. Because I'm still 8 years later farming it.
I've got friends who have that. I'm jealous of them.
I mean, I have some mounts that other people don't have, so it's okay if I don't have every single old mount.
And soon we can get ahead in the game. That was an eyeball facepalm, at least.
And that's called an eye roll.
Eye roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a new device by Apple?
Yeah, it doesn't work properly, but it still costs $9.99 with a $500 add-in feature to make it almost kind of work properly.
I'll take 20.
Apple loves you. You know who else is going to love you? Hunters.
Yes, Hunter's gonna love me. Yes.
Because coming this next patch, 8.2, hunters will be able to tame gnomes.
Oh, wait.
Not really.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I was like, I'll be someone's pet.
That's another podcast, sir.
Okay.
Remember, PG-13.
Oh, no. No, we got the show title. No, I'm kidding.
Frazley will be someone's pet. Yep, that's the show title. Poor Ro. Yeah. Anyway, hunters, you are going to be able to accidentally pull more trash, as usual, with new pets, such as Undasta, Thok, which is already out there, Hordon from Thunder, whatchamacallit raid.
Throne of Thunder.
Yeah, Throne of Thunder. Like, all these old bosses that you couldn't tame, you're going to be able to tame.
These look really cool.
Yeah, I kind of eventually, Blizzard, I don't know if I want you to do this or not. You know that one boss in the Brawlers Guild, or whatever the Horde equivalent is? Brawlgar? Where it is literally a shark with a laser, with a dinosaur on top. And, it's like the three animals stacked on top of each other. I kind of want to see Blizzard let that get tamed.
That would be cool.
It'll be completely nerfed for whenever it is, your hunter pet. But just so that hunters could have that model. I kind of want that, but I don't know if I really do.
Well, the second they do it, hunters will have no other pet other than that.
There'll be a few. Because I know a few hunters that want a companion pet, a battle pet, to match their pet, to match their mount. So as long as that doesn't happen, that they'll tame it, but they won't use it unless they have to. So that would be interesting. But yeah, hunters rejoice. You know who else is gonna rejoice? Bruce Banner.
The bats.
The bats. No. Bruce Banner. Incredible Hulk. We're all going to have our Hulk transmogs come 8.2.
Oh, yes!
By that I mean transmog, hide everything except pants, because it's a PG-13 game.
Yes.
But yet, the women characters can hide their chest armor, and they'll be wearing bras. Every character has undergarments. Why can't we just run around quote-unquote naked and it's fine? I don't see an issue. I mean, my Demon Hunter has a pair of, I don't even know what they're called, Sentinel trousers, I think. It's the literal shortest actual pants in the game. It's almost a bikini bottom. At that point, why are you bothering?
Yeah.
Just let it go. It'll be fine.
At least with the armor in WoW's not as crazy as the armor in Final Fantasy 14. I had my Lalafell was literally like it had like leather straps, and I was like, I don't want to wear that. And I didn't have a shirt piece because they don't have shirt as a chest. At least they didn't have it, so I had to look at my Lalafell's chest the entire time.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to ask Blizzard, and they've gotten really better at it since way back then. We don't need male version and female version of the armor. By which I mean, if it isn't a bikini on the males, it should not be a bikini on the female.
Exactly.
It obviously, body proportions and body part sizes are going to differ, so you can accommodate for those. But You're getting better at it, Blizz, but there's still a few pieces that are like, really? You couldn't just make it the same?
Yeah, and because I think the time has changed where that stuff is more acceptable, or at least people didn't it.
Classic
was
fantasy versus modern fantasy for modern classic fantasy.
Yeah, but I mean, nowadays, for me, armor needs to be protective. I mean, if the armor is only covering a portion, that is a huge blind spot. I mean, that's
Yeah, that was the only reason. Like, hey, we're gonna breathe fire on you. You're in armor. Technically, that would heat the armor up, so it would do nothing. But against like arrows and swords and stuff, it would help. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's some. It's a fantasy game. I get that.
But the more modern fantasy I know does it where the armor is the same. I mean, it's yeah.
That's
If
just
it
a
was
tangent on my part. But
if it was casual wear, and I do think we need casual wear. Anarchy Online has some cool casual wear. You had your armor transmog, then you also had. I would go dance in the clubs in Anarchy Online. I mean, there were a lot of clubs, and like I would boogie and stuff like that. And in that game, if I remember right, you could wear whatever you wanted. I mean, men could wear bras. I mean, you could wear whatever you wanted in the casual wear in that game. It was up to you.
getting back to what I was saying earlier about City Heroes, and you could see anything. That's a costume that is possible as your superhero costume. A guy in a bra and a bikini bottom. I mean, if you can think it, it is probably either there or close to there. So that leads me to this. Wow. Add a little more customization. I understand the armor tint thing is going to be a little issue.
I thought you were going for effect. I thought you were saying something that you didn't want to. You were. I can't hear you. I was muting myself so that way I could. Nope. Nope. That one too. So.
Yep. Alrighty. So we had a little bit of technical issues there, aka something went wrong with Draven's computer, shockingly enough. So we're gonna move on to Mythic Plus changes coming up. And that is we're getting rid of Reaping and moving over to something called Beguiling. And what that is there's a few extra, I won't even call them mini bosses because you can't kill them. There's a few extra NPCs out in the middle of the trash that will do specific things. One will sit there and cast at you, and every time it casts, its damage doubles. You can line of sight it, provided you can actually line of sight it, but you're going to have to kill it. You can burst it down and hope you kill it before it kills everybody. Because from what I've heard, at plus 10, which is where it starts, one cast is 50% of your health.
Ooh.
Second cast would be 100, which means you need a defensive cooldown. Third cast will require an immunity. After that, you're gonna die. Now, obviously, people have different levels of health, so it's going to be based on what was tested. Tanks, obviously, having more health, will probably be able to take that survive 2 of them without a cooldown. Third one would probably need a cooldown. Fourth one would probably still kill them without an immunity.
So I'm confused on beguilement. So according to Wordnik, it is love, and it's an entertainment that provokes pleased interest and distracts you from vexation and worries. That does not sound like what beguiling in this is.
No, this is I think they just gave it a word because technically, reaping is not anything to do with ghosts coming back and trying to kill you. That's something else entirely. So I think they just whatever. Here's a word. It'll be fun.
And I mean, for the boss, it could please them and take them away from worries because, oh, this player's here again. Okay, I'm just going to vex them and stuff like that.
You there, stand there and look pretty.
Yes.
So then, that'd be great. They added those dialogues. You there, stand there and look pretty, and you just have a 5-second CC where you can do nothing but pose. And if you happen to be standing in an AoE that could kill you, well, you could try to immunity out, but it may not work. I'd be fine with that.
Yes.
People have been going on about what they like and what they don't like about it. Basically, the general consensus of the people who are actually testing it is it slows down the dungeon versus reaping. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I haven't done a +10 ever. I've gotten a couple 9s. But I'm also pugging as a DPS and a melee DPS. So I'm not gonna, without I'm not so-and-so streamer, I'm not gonna, I can't get into the big ones without, finding a group and sticking with them. I'm pugging my Mythic Pluses when I do them. So, is what it is.
Yeah, I've not done a Mythic Plus since Legion, so I will at some point.
Yeah, they're not, most of them aren't bad. There's a couple that I'm like, I don't want to do that. But that's a personal dungeon preference. Like, I hate Shrine of the Storm. King's Rest I love, but I've done it so many times I don't want to do it. But I want to do it because that's where my best insult weapon is.
Yeah.
So that's why I've done it so many times. There was like 2 weeks where I did it 13 plus times each week on one character. I'm like, I'm tired of this place. Okay, going again.
And of course, Ellie is going, yar, for freehold.
Yeah, but that's because there's pirates there.
Yes.
Which is,
and rum.
Yeah, I mean, good enough reason as any, I suppose.
And booty.
Well, I mean, there's booty in every dungeon.
That is true, especially Black Temple.
All you gotta do is zoom into first-person view, and you'll see plenty of booty, especially if you play a melee character.
Oh, yep.
That should be the next challenge. If there was a way to track it, you have to play the game in first-person mode the entire way.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would suck.
And your transmog is a crowbar. Half-Life. You get a crowbar if you complete the entire thing in first person.
But you can only use it while in first person.
Exactly.
So if you zoom out to see your body at all, the crowbar turns into your regular weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that would be an out-of-body experience.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yeah!
I made what joke was it? E3. E3. Keanu has 3 syllables. At E3. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
And Kappa wants me to just work, so...
No, I will turn this podcast around, sir.
Okay.
You can put the wig back on, but no.
Okay.
Anyway, moving.
Oh,
All right.
nope, I don't hear you yet.
Yeah, working on it.
It stopped at moving right along, so it was right.
Can you hear me now?
I think I broke it. I don't hear Draven yet.
Hello. Anyway, more tech issues. Windows, I hate you. May you rot in pieces.
Yes.
Just your updates.
Yeah.
So, before I hit the record button again, Microsoft, if you're going to push an update and force us to, accept it, make sure it freaking works first.
Yeah. I mean, because they have their insiders program. They have all these testing groups.
Yeah.
I thought it's supposed to. Next time you're in Microsoft Update, Draven, check to see if you're able to, because they did say in one of them that they're going to let you prolong updates. Because, like I said, mine is.
I mean, I've been able
literally-
to push it forward, but other things were broke, and the only way to fix those other things was to do the restart, which forced it into the update.
Okay. Under advanced options, I am on the semi-annual channel.
We'll do it after the show
Oh yeah, sounds good.
because I don't know how long this is going to last.
Oh yeah, that's good.
All right, recording. Moving on. After tech difficulties, the recruiter friend is no more.
I own every one of those.
I have the 2-person rocket mount, but that's it.
And you want to know the funny thing about that one? I recruited a friend to get that, and then my friend did end up leaving WoW.
I recruited myself.
Ooh.
I did the math. I bought the game for myself when it was on sale for $5. And then I just paid for 1 month. So it was a $20 mount instead of the $25 store mount. So it was cheaper than the store mount. That was the only time I ever did recruit a friend, was whenever those issues happened.
Yeah, I had it all modified. Like I did that as well because it was cheaper, and I also was in a podcast group, and when I was like on this podcast was getting back into WoW, and I told them to like I'll buy you a month of WoW if you sign up with my link. So I got quite a few from there.
Yeah.
So
I like a lot of these mounts, but whenever I had whenever I wanted to do it, other things came up, like, oh hey, you have a trip coming up, you might want to not spend money on recruit a friend, or you have car repairs, you might not want to spend money on recruit a friend, or hey, there's a hospital bill, you might not want to spend money on recruit a friend.
yeah,
That kind of thing. So I was like, every time I could do it, I couldn't do it because of money. Money's a thing, and it'd be so much easier if I would have won the lottery last week, because it was like 400 million.
and that code you used didn't work.
No, I'm gonna have to get on to that guy, because he told me that would force it to be like my numbers. I paid good money for that, and it didn't work.
But what you need to do is you need like this and fly to Australia too. You need to get the lottery and then fly to Australia.
I tried that, but Australia didn't want me. They said no.
Aww.
We have enough fail here. we don't want you here.
Were they like, good day, mate?
No, they were, get the heck out of here, mate.
Now, my worry about this recruiter friend, I am maxed out on all my accounts on this. Like, I have like 8 WoW accounts, or 8 or 9. I don't think I can get any more WoW accounts, so I'm terrified. I need to find more friends.
Do all of them have all 50 characters in use?
No.
Because if they're all linked to your account, you can transfer them into as few accounts as possible, and then you can just cancel off the other ones. And then that frees up those accounts for the new recruit a friend, or depending on how they come up with.
So all these expired accounts, I can move to another Blizzard account, is what you're saying.
You could move. Okay, so let's say you have your normal account.
Yes.
And then you have your main alt account. And that's where you play like your Iron Man character. I'm just making things up. I don't know what your system is. Let's say your second account is your Iron Man account, where all your characters are Iron Man tunes and that's it. You could, and then your third account is just random goof off. Then you have more goof off, more goof off, more goof off. You could take all those other ones, put them on your Iron Man account or your main account if you have room. And then you have all these empty accounts. You can delete those and then recruit yourself again for the new ones. Now that is presuming same system is in place. We don't know. They just said it's going to need that it's going away, but it's coming back. They're going to do something. Who knows what they're going to do.
And I could see them realizing what we all did, recruiting ourselves. They could be like, nope, we won't let you recruit your own self.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. But honestly, there's ways around it. You could recruit me, but you would give me money to play the account for just long enough. Like, you could PayPal me money to put in to the second account so that you get the mount. And then I could do the same to you.
Okay.
So there are ways around it, no matter, you can't recruit yourself. Well, fine. We'll just recruit each other. At that point, it'd be silly to send us money because then PayPal takes a cut. But, it's one of those, there are ways around it. So yeah. I don't see them doing the whole, you can't recruit yourself. I could see them saying, no, you have to pay for 3 months instead of 2 months or 1 month. But other than that.
If they did that, I would hope then we would get more, because I got a month for every one that I recruited, so I would hope that we get 2 months. But yeah. The recruited friends going, so like a Swift Zebra, it's gone.
But if you catch it, will it have hooves?
That behooves me.
Because I have to collect hooves on my classic character, and every time I kill one, it doesn't have feet.
Oh. Well, someone was saying the reason why they don't drop enough is you are very picky as a character on what you want, so you're like, oh, this hoof's not good enough.
No, my character's not picky at all. If it was, as long as it existed, he'd pick it up and be like, "Yep, that's a hoof." Next. No, I must literally be hitting these things so hard that their feet are exploding. Mm-hmm.
Like Michael Bay. Michael Bay's next film, The Zebra.
I should totally name a character Michael Bay.
Yes.
And just give him fireworks. Tons and tons of fireworks. He doesn't actually do anything. He just stands in town, runs around, and throws fireworks. That's all he does.
That would be an amazing Baywatch.
With that, we're going to move on because there's 2 more things that we should talk about before we leave instead of just leaving. There's a couple dungeons getting buffed coming up for 8.2. This is basically, they're just under-tuned for our current item level. It's not a huge issue. Which ones are they, Fraz? Do you have that open?
Yes, it will be the Atal Dazar, Freehold, King's Rest, the Motherlode, and Tol Dagar.
Yeah, it's basically just, hey, these things don't hit hard enough compared to everything else for the current gear you have, so we're going to tune those up just a little bit.
And not all of them.
Yeah.
In the Motherlode, Echo Blade, it actually goes from 20,000 to 9,376. So not all of them are going up, and even like Spit Gold and King's Rest is going down to 27,000 because green on these is the new value.
Yeah, so it's and yeah, some of the timers are getting altered and stuff like that. They're just making a couple little itty bitty tweaks to make it a little more up to par, I guess is the way to phrase it.
Because 8.2 gold release candidate is on PTR.
Yeah, but not only that, but they gave us a tweet saying the season that we're in now is almost over.
Nice.
Normally, when such a tweet or message on the forums comes out, that is our 2-week warning.
So I would say then that would mean that if the PTR has the release candidate, Tuesday we're going to get our data on the background downloader. We're going to probably get a Q&A for Thursday. And then next Tuesday, we will get the patch 8.2.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at either the 25th or more than likely July 2nd as 8.2 day. Now, why did I say that one's more than likely? Well, WoW has been known to accidentally release content the same day other companies release content.
Yeah, and you're right. The Shadowbringers.
Final Fantasy has a content patch, or it has some sort of an update, whether it's an expansion or content patch. I don't know. I don't play the game. I've heard it's good, but I don't play it.
Yeah, that one's going to have a gender locked new races, and it's going to have a town where you have to be a little person to be able to visit that town.
Yeah, and Chad is saying it's an expansion. So yeah, it's a good bet that July 2nd is going to be patch day.
Which would suck. I'm sorry to say, Blizzard. Think about your people there. A lot of your staff are American. Please don't make them have to be working on July 4th. Please, Blizzard.
I mean, I work on July 4th.
I don't.
No, it's just another day of the year. Sometimes I get the day off, and I'm always like, I can go watch legalized explosions, yay! And then I don't, because I lose interest.
And chat brings up an interesting point. Early access starts on the 28th, and the 2nd is the general release date for people who don't pre-order the Shadowbringers.
Yes, the 28th is also a Friday.
So if they release it, because then if they release it earlier that week, everybody would be...
Yeah, so we might get it the 25th, which would be just before the expansion is released, including the pre-order stuff, or we might get it the day of. I'm thinking it would probably be more than likely the day of. Both days are good bets, though.
Oh, and I'm not going to have good Wi-Fi that week. Blizzard, you...
Disclaimer. Any swearing done by Frazley does not necessarily... does not reflect the opinions of the Epic Fail podcast or anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, patch is coming. Whether it is likely the 25th or more likely the 2nd of next month, we don't know. You never know. It might be July. It could be after July 4th. I would not be upset if it came after that, July 4th.
Me either, because I would be home.
Yeah, that being said, with the Final Fantasy expansion coming out, I could see July 2nd as the most likely date.
Oh. So all of you will be in Mechagon without me. Capo, please be kind to Mechagon until I can get there.
I'm going to kill him.
Oh, okay. You can kill King Mechagon, but the city itself. I don't care about King Mechagon.
Yeah, I'm going to take out everything I can. Like, if I can set the buildings on fire, I'm setting the buildings on fire.
No.
Like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go full Dark Knight Rises on it, and I'm going to literally write Frazley was here in fire on the buildings.
No, and they'll be exiled from all gnomes. They'll be like, Frazley can never return. But you know what?
It won't be a gnome doing it, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. You got anything else you want to add before we get out of here? Because I don't know how long the tech issues are going to hold off again.
Nope. Are we doing the last words and the?
Well, we got shout outs and stuff. I was just
yeah.
wondering if you had anything else.
Nope. I think we covered it all because pretty much 8.2 is pretty much there. I mean,
yeah, we're just about there.
Interesting news. Just MMO Champion is being sold yet again to Magic Find. So we don't know what's going to happen with it. I mean, maybe that might be cursed.
I'm not going to say that I don't ever go to MMO Champion. But I go there once every 3 weeks, and that is because there might be a better detailed link for news stories or something like that. Like, I barely go to MMO Champion anymore. It's just...
I have a Trello board that pulls in everything from Icy Veins, MMO Champion, and WoW. I go to WoW a lot more for searching for like guides and stuff like that. Yeah.
Guides, items, how to get to places.
Yeah, it is just sad that the people there, I feel they do care, but it's sad that the revenue's not showing that they can keep it going without selling it again. So I hope whoever takes it on continues the legacy of it.
Yeah, like I originally started using Elitist Jerks for class guide. Like, this is how to spec your class, etc. And then they stopped working for... It's still there, I think. But for the most part, the guides weren't as accurate for most specs. And then MMO Champion picked up. So I was going there for that. And then Icy Veins picked up. And now it's just everything's on Discord. So, yeah. Anyway. Hopefully, whatever happens with MMO Champion, they figure it out and everything works out okay. But on a happier note, Frazley, do you have any shout-outs? How do people get a hold of you, etc., and so forth?
I want to give a shout-out to Belle of Ponecast, who just launched DitchCon. So DitchCon is one of the awesome parties that's happening around BlizzCon. And I have not been to DitchCon because I've not been to BlizzCon, but people that have been there say it's awesome. And Belle works there off and all that, so they have a great time. And it's one of those, I love these projects, and I love that these parties are run by real people, and that it's not like there may be a business as the entity, but all these parties are run out of the passion of somebody working on it. So I'd say let's all go out and support DitchCon. I backed them, so let's see them funded, and then you can find me.
Make sure they get funded enough they can stream again, because I want to be able to, because I haven't been able to go. She started doing it the year after I went.
Oh yeah, and that way we can go troll and love and chat.
Yeah.
And you can find me every week at gnomepodcast.com. And this next episode, that's the one coming out on Monday, is going to be E3 related. But Monday night, I'm finally recording the next Frazzlecast with this. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I've been like, this is one that I've been like so nervous about, because like I want to have him on the show, and then now all the things worked out properly that I was able to announce today that it's happening.
I was this close from muting you because I knew you were going to say her name. I was this close from muting it just so to troll you, and then I was just like, I don't know. I'll let you have your moment.
Still time in post and all that. Because next week I'm going to have Crane on the show. Oh wait, I read it. But yeah, Draven, where can we find you?
Well, the easiest way to find me, it would be on the internet, when I actually have time to be on the internet, at Draven Dresden over on Twitter. As long as you are polite, it'll be okay. We may not agree, but that's fine. Just be polite. That's all I ask. There are some topics that are like, no, I don't want naked pictures of anyone. I'm not going to send naked pictures to anyone. Nobody wants to see that. And yeah, that about covers that. That's a certain topic. Yeah. As for a shout out, my shout out this week is going to go to, I don't know his name, but there are doctors. I'm just going to give a shout out to all competent doctors. Little behind the scenes thing, my aunt had to go back into surgery and she's going back in again tomorrow. And she's finally got some competent doctors that are fixing some of the issues that the last one didn't. So, you know, it's still surgery, but it's kind of a minor thing. Just, you know, fixing it, making everything better. So, competent doctors, that's my shout out for the week. I know it's weird, but there you go.
Oh no, I get it. We've seen all managed the doctors in our family, and the competent ones we're glad for. And I've had some very incompetent doctors.
Yes. As for the show and related things, we have a Patreon for the show, patreon.com/podcastepicfail. If you decide you want to give money to the show, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not going to understand your, crazy decision. $1 a month, $2, $5, whatever. You can put in your own amount. It doesn't matter. There's a couple listed with some stuff. It really does help a lot. Maybe for episode 200, I'll tell why I kept saying, oh, it means a lot. Obviously it means a lot, but for a long time, there was an extra special reason why it meant a lot. And I might maybe go into that for 200. I don't know. I haven't decided. I have other things I might do for 200. It's a total cluster because I have like almost no time to even get on the computer anymore. So if people are messaging me, I'm sorry if I don't reply right away. I'm not always there.
Well, and I always get a DM from no one, so I don't even know if you're there when you text me.
Well, yeah, that's what, yeah. As for Epic Fail, we have a Discord, bit.ly/Epic Fail Discord. Basically, it's a smaller Discord, which is fine. I'm okay with that. And you get to find out when really cool people, or, me, make cool things, or fails, like me. So, like when Frazley does something cool, he'll post it, hey, I got this new thing, boom. When Ali and Dungeon Fables does something new, hey, we have this new thing, boom. When I do something, I'm like, hey, I've got this thing, and I've got someone cool, probably, or Galv. Here's the link to it.
Boom! So there's all these explosions everywhere.
Yeah, and, whenever I do that, it tends to be literal explosions like your Discord crashes. But it's okay because you can always reopen it, and it won't crash again.
So if my pants Am I still?
Yeah, that was on my end. My Discord is going wonky. So, I don't know what you just said.
I just said that explodes everywhere. So if my pants explode because of you, it's all good.
I am not going to be held responsible for anything happening with your pants.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. And
so,
replying to chat room, I said I would have cool people on or Galv. Thus implying Galv was not one of those cool people. I'm safe for that.
I think Gal's cool. I'm always sad that I never get to talk with Gal. I mean, I like talking with you.
See, I don't understand your point of view on that, but I will say thank you. And with that, before we have some more tech issues, because it looks like it's tech issue day, we're going to go ahead and throw this out of here. Do you have any last words for the show?
I prepared something into my pants. Wait a second. Where are my pants?